Hey, my name's Marcus Ansems. I'm a Master of Wine, and today I thought we'd see if I wasted $350 on a bottle of champagne. So to be clear, I don't normally spend $350 on a bottle of champagne, but I've got three excellent reasons to do it today. Number one reason is it's my 20th wedding anniversary. Hello, darling. So that's the perfect reason to buy this wine. Number two is the 2012 vintage of Dom Perignon. It's actually my daughter's birth year. So I want to see if this is good enough to lay it down for another few years for when she can drink it with me. The last reason is I thought I'd do it for you guys so you can see if it's worth the money or you should keep it in your pocket. All right, so number one thing, it's a beautiful package. Just kind of makes you feel special. It's a very pretty box of wine. So let's open this up and see what comes in. So it looks like we've got a bit of material here. It tells us a bit about Dom Perignon. So Dom Perignon is interesting actually. It's from the Champagne region. Usually comes from 9 different villages, which are pretty consistent from year to year. The actual varietal blend will change a little bit. And there's the bottle. Oh, that is pretty. So the varietal blend will change from year to year. It's always a vintage champagne. So in this case, it's from the 2012 vintage, which was kind of a tricky vintage. There was a lot of variation, but August was nice and warm and really kind of saved the day. And the wines from it are the ones that I've tried from the 2012 vintage have been actually fantastic. So I am very excited to try this. Dom Perignon itself, it's I don't know, it's probably the most widely known champagne around the world. He has this myth. Dom Perignon was actually a monk in the 1700s, and it has the myth of actually inventing champagne. It's not exactly true. He was very good at the winemaking process and actually was quite an innovator. He was particularly good at clarifying wine from red grapes by modifying the presses. And also, he was actually the first to use cork stoppers. So that's quite an innovation. The secondary ferment would often happen in the spring, and he was actually one of the people that got heavier weight bottles to deal with all the excess pressure, because back then the bottles used to explode quite a lot. So it was quite a messy process. In fact, they didn't really refine the champagne process until maybe 100 years after his death. But here we are. Dom Perignon, vintage 2012. So this wine is actually a blend of 51% Pinot Noir and 49% Chardonnay. That blend can change from year to year. Traditionally, it spends 8 years on lees. With champagne, a lot of that, what they say, autolytic character, that toasty kind of brioche character that you get, is directly proportional to the amount of time that's spent on lees. The other thing that happens with champagne over time is that the longer it sits on the lees, the smaller the bubbles you get. So if you have a champagne that's got very small bubbles, it means it's probably spent a little bit of time on lees, like significant time on lees. This was disgorged in September of 2020. We're drinking this wine in January of 2023. So it's been disgorged for a little while now. That basically means that the wine was fermented, secondary fermentation in bottle, and it was taken off the lees, and then the wine was topped up. This has about 5 grams per litre dosage, so that means there's about 5 grams residual sugar in it, so it's quite a dry wine. The other thing I thought I'd talk about is just glassware. With champagne, champagne's kind of special, right? So you want something very special to put it in. In this case, we've got 3 different styles of champagne glass. This is a sort of a fluted style flute, I'd call this one. This is a pretty standard flute. And then this is some of the more modern champagne glasses that these two are actually both from Riedel. I actually don't like drinking champagne very much from these. I'm a bit of a traditional guy, so I think with this case, I'm gonna drink out of the fluted flute. See how we go. When you're opening champagne, there's a few things you should know. Firstly, you want it nice and cold. We're lucky here in Canada. I just basically had this outside for a while. It's been about 5 degrees outside. So it'd probably be maybe 7 or 8 degrees right now after it's been sitting here for a little while. Each champagne basically comes with a foil. There's usually a foil wrapper around the outside. This one's actually quite hard to see where it is, but you basically want to pull that wrapper off, and then that'll reveal the wire hood underneath. Quite a flaky one, this one. Okay, when you're opening champagne, you put your thumb over the top of it, because when you release the hood, sometimes the pressure, depending on how good the winemaker was, can actually pop the cork out on its own. So I'm always really careful just to have some pressure over the top of it as I do this, because nothing worse than it popping out everywhere. Now, every part of my being just wants to pop this cork out, particularly because it's such a special bottle. But when you're opening champagne, have it away from you, and you're basically just twisting the bottle, and it should pop out on its own, and you want a nice little fizz as it does it. There you go. Oh, immediately I'm getting strong toasty notes. That's a really good sign from this wine. So let's put a bit in the glass. Now, when you're pouring champagne, generally you have what's called a 2-part pour. So we'll pour it, it'll fizz up a lot, it'll go down, and then we can top the glass off. In this case, we're just tasting it, so we won't put that secondary amount in. The other reason is my wife will get mad at me if I drink too much of this, so let's just see how we go. Immediately, beautiful golden color, really small bead. I don't know if you can see that there, but those bubbles are really tiny. Super aromatic. I can smell it from here. I don't even have to put my nose in the glass. Oh, that is good. Yes, sorry. Apologize for the language. It has a green apple character. There's a toastiness. There's some kind of cedar, almost, I would say forest floor characters, which are quite interesting. Fruit-wise, there's a lot of apricot. I would say it's flinty. In terms of aromatic intensity, I would say it's at the higher end. There's lots going on. It's just, it's one of those wines you can just sit there and smell for ages. I won't, I'm going to drink it. Immediately what I notice is there's a very fine bit. This is good wine. This is fantastic. It's got lots of intensity. There's a flavor profile that just builds in your mouth. There's those toasty notes, that real green apple character. It's all held together beautifully by this sort of taut acidity. There's toastiness, but it is also really balances the fruit. It's quite amazing. This is we're drinking this as a 2012. We're drinking it in 2023, and it tastes as fresh as a daisy. It's really quite amazing. The other thing that I notice is I've only taken one sip. I'm still tasting the wine. That's extraordinary length. Whenever you're tasting wine, particularly champagnes, it's always good to think of it from a temporal perspective. You know, how does the wine taste over time? What does it do? For me, there's still some of that green apple acidity. There's a little bit of warmth. And there's actually some strawberry notes and some kind of raspberry tones that I didn't notice when I first tried the wine. This is really excellent. Okay, so what I would say is, yes, this wine is fantastic. Is it $350 good? I'll leave that up to you. I mean, this is wonderful. This is genuinely one of the best champagnes I've had, and I've had lots of really good champagne, a lot of good grower stuff, a lot of good vintages. I've actually had this vintage, this white Dom Perignon before from different vintages. This is the first of me trying the 2012 vintage, but yeah, that's really excellent. What a fabulous wine. Is it worth buying for my daughter's birth year? Would I buy it again? That's always a really good question when you're drinking wine. Would you buy it again? Yes, I would. I would buy it again. Absolutely. To give you an idea on price as well, I'm in Canada. It retails for around, I think, $3.15 before tax, $3.50-ish after tax. In the States, I was having a look. I think the Vivino averages at around $250, $240 US. The tax structure is a little bit aggressive in a lot of the provinces in Canada, so our high-end wines in particular end up coming in significantly, probably more than some other countries. So wherever you're watching this from, a benchmark, it's probably around about $250 US as a ballpark. But yeah, thanks for tasting this with me, and wish me luck tonight. For those of you interested in scores, I'd give this 95 points. So thanks for watching this video. If you like it, don't forget to press the like button, subscribe. If there's anything that you want me to cover, any topics, any wines I should try, maybe you got a grape growing question or a winemaking question, let me know what you think I should do. I'll try and post a few more of these videos when I get time. Have a great day.